Okay, and then so you come to Canada, you work for, I know that you worked for Marie Chouinard, correct? You
Yes.
danced in her company, and then you went out into, the United States finally. You did a big career in the United States, in Las Vegas. You worked for Celine Dion, Cirque du Soleil. You had huge successes. Um, Tell me a little bit about transitioning from Canadian dance to big production Las Vegas dance. Is that what was that like?
It was quite hard. I don't think I realized what I was going into. Going from like a small group of 12 dancers and dancing solos and arriving on a stage that, was just like an enormous stage with Celine, with like 56 dancers and mainly, being in group. And believe it or not, but for me, having to do the same thing every single night is actually very stressful because naturally I just change things day after day because the movement has a life. So when you're doing a solo or a duet, it's not so bad. But when you're dancing with like 55 other people, you need to do the same choreography. And so that was actually very stressful for me because I really had to make sure I was still doing the same thing and not moving on to something else.
Did you audition for Celine?
Yes, I auditioned in Montreal. They had the audition all around the world, and I did one of them in Montreal.
Okay. And so what is it like being on stage for a concert? Is it something where well, like you said, it's the same thing over and over again, but do you have any stage fright of any kind?
I'm not. I'm not. If I have stage fright, then what I do on stage is not good. I really need to be relaxed and just confident before I go, and just very, very relaxed and doing a lot of breathing. Otherwise, the result will be awful. But it is for me that it's a big stage, like for Celine, or that it's a solo. There is not a difference in the amount of stage fright.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting because I remember Ginette Renault was saying, during one of her concerts, that she constantly has stage fright. She feels like throwing up before every show. So I'm always curious to see how performers feel about, being on stage, being in front of an audience. Do dancers get any criticism from the audience, or is it just usually the singer who's the star of the show, really?
It's the singer. I would say for Celine, we were just very lucky because people came to see her, obviously, but we were such a big part of the show. It was so among us that they were actually surprised and would suddenly realize, oh, there is Celine, of course. I mean, this is Celine, but then there is an amount of people around her and the decor and the music that was different, and all the artistry. They actually really enjoyed it, but we did not get the critique. The only person carrying everything on her back was Celine.
Right. I can't even imagine being in her shoes. I mean, do you find that is it a good spot to be as a dancer where you get to be part of a show, but you don't have to take on any of the criticism and but also you don't get half the accolades, I'm sure too. So, but is it fun to be kind of like, and it might sound rude to say this, but like a faceless kind of part of the project, whereas, you have the celebrity there. Is that more fun, or would you prefer to be the one, you know?
I It was a great experience, but I do prefer when I'm the one in the spotlight.
Okay.
Let's I know it's awful to say, it's gonna sound awful, but that's just the reality. But I have to say that working with Celine, I learned immensely from her as a person. Because I realized that yes, of course, she has an amazing voice, but you don't get to that level without hard work. And it's a 24 hours a day work, nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. And even when you reach to the top, you still continue on. So it was a great experience to be with her on stage and seeing her dedication to the work, and being so nice to work with. I mean, she could have been a diva, if she
Mhm.
can, but she never did. in 5 years of shows with her. So definitely learned a lot with working with her.